Badgeskins. In this video, we will cover a number of install how-tos of our Badgeskin products for the exterior of the MK2 Tiguan. As you can see here, this is a variant of what is possible with some of our Badgeskins products. So let's get started. So here we're just going to do a very simple basic Badgeskin install on the R-line badge of our MK2 Tiguan. So essentially the same thing. We're going to have everything is prepped and cleaned, and you simply have your Badgeskin here, and we're just going to peel off the backing, and then what you're going to do is just going to line it up and then tack it down. Just like that, and then peel off the masking at 180 degrees. Here we'll be installing the grille accent piece. It kind of gives it a nice highlight along the front grille. And for this specific kit, it is actually for the Tiguan MK2 grille that has the 4 trapezoids. So I know there's a variance where you have the other ones with the 3 little indents. So this one's specific for the one with the 4 trapezoids. And also we're doing a piece that's going to extend over to the LED projector headlight install too, because we're going to extend this chrome piece that used to be here but it's blacked out, but it'll also extend and follow through the accent piece. Your kit actually looks like this. So right side and left side, so you have the headlight piece and then the grille piece. So very simple on the install. We're going to clean the surface area. You're going to wash it, dry it, then use the alcohol wipe to clean off the surface area even more, and then dry it again with microfiber cloth. Make sure there's no lint or anything contaminants on top of the surface. So very basic. You're going to start off by simply removing your Badgeskin from the backing, and for this grille section here, we're going to start off by lining up this right to where the grille is and kind of centered on the surface area. Once you've done that, you can kind of you can see how you give it a little bit of tension to kind of guide it up and down to make sure that you have a nice even line, and kind of just walk it across. I'm using the bottom straight line as a guide. Making sure I'm trying to keep a nice equal spacing so I do get a nice straight accent piece with minimum curvature. So once you get to this point here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the masking, (180 degrees), and kind of just pull it away, keeping that 180 degrees nice and slow. Once you get to this point here, what you can do is just take a squeegee or a card and just tuck it in behind, just like that. And that's it for the front. Now here for the second portion of this accent piece for the front grille. As you can see, we've already finished the grille part, and for the ones with the LED projector headlights, you have the additional chrome highlight here. So we're going to extend this accent piece all the way through, and it's very simple. Just like the first piece, we're just going to remove the Badgeskin from the backing, and with this one, your start point is going to be on the edge right here on the corner. I'm going to drape the Badgeskin over my arm, and what you're going to do is you're going to evenly space this out in this little trapezoid area. So you kind of got about a millimeter offset from edge to edge inside, as you can see. So I centered everything in, and now I'm just going to slowly install the rest of the Badgeskin following this piece. You can pick top or bottom. I'm going to use top as my guide here, since it's nice and easy, and the light reflection kind of gives me a highlight of that edge for me to follow. I'm just gonna keep working my way around until I get to the front. Once I get to the front, it's the same thing. You're just gonna make sure everything's tacked down nicely. And then I'm gonna remove the masking at 180 degrees. At an even pace, nice and not too fast, but just enough that I won't damage or do anything to the vinyl. Once you get to this point, you can just pretty well tuck this in like so. If you have to apply some heat, that's fine. As long as your surface areas are clean in there, this will be a perfect install. And here you go. Here is a nice kind of red accent piece for the Mark II Tiguan chrome grille. So here we'll be installing the Mark II Tiguan R-Line Fender Badgeskin set, and this is what the kit looks like. So it looks pretty intricate, but it's pretty simple to install. So first things first, you could do what you do before any install, is that you could wash and clean this whole area, make sure it's dry. Then you're gonna take a microfiber cloth and just give it a quick wipe down, and then do the alcohol swab, and then quick wipe down again to dry it off with the microfiber cloth. Make sure there's no lint and that it's wax free, so that the vinyl can stick to it easily. Now if it's ceramic coated, you might have a bit of a issue, but with a bit of heat treat it should be okay. So to start off, we'll take this kit and we're going to start with this flat piece here. So simply just remove it from the kit, and what you're going to do is you're just kind of going to center it into the chrome section, so it's a nice even perimeter all the way around. So you're giving it maybe a little less or close to 1 millimeters of even spacing. You gotta give it a bit of tension on this loose end and just work it all the way across like so. And then you just gotta go over it once more, make sure everything's tacked down, and then peel off the masking at 180 degrees. Now we're going to repeat this process for this outer trim here. Same thing. You gotta take the piece that you require, and you're just going to take it and you're just going to kind of center it again on the chrome with nice even spacing. If you don't like it, you can pull it up. And just walk it across. And this side here, it will just curve up into that little swoop, as you can see. And then we'll just adhere everything down. Doesn't matter which side you pull from, and remove the masking. So the last piece for this tail section here will be this piece right here. So you just peel that off. It has a good section to grab onto, and what you could do is the same thing. You're just going to center it, and you're just going to tack it down. And just remove the masking. Now we move over to the front section of the emblem, which has a kind of big swooping, almost like a C shape, and then the inner part here. So we have this piece and these little fillers that go up here, but we'll start off with this piece right here, and it goes at the very back right here. So what you do is you just center it on and just tack it down. to the big piece. Same thing, you're just gonna take it. You're just gonna use the top portion here and kind of center it. And work your way towards the front and try to get everything lined up the best you can. Now that the top section is lined up and adhered, you can slowly take this and work your way back like so. Always trying to keep an even gap and just work everything down. Once that's done, you can remove the masking. And let me get that. Now for the inner piece right here, same process. You gotta remove it. You gotta take it and kind of center it the best you can between the top and bottom of the chrome. Is about less than a millimeter gap there, and you just gotta work it across. And you have to adjust it so that you have nice even spacing. And this is going to come to the front of the R. And you're just going to line it up the best you can. Once that's tacked down, you can start to remove the masking. And now you got those small filler sections that you have to fill in for this section here behind the R and in between. So you just take this, line it up, and just tack it down. Same for the last piece here. You take this, and tack it down. If you have a little tool like this, you can use it to help. Just make sure that it's really nicely firmed and tacked down to the surface area, and that the edges are adhered, not lifted. If not, you can just cut a little piece of your used gift card or something like that to really get in there. Last but not least, if you want to complete the blackout, you can get the R. And it's just like any other Badgeskin install. You just remove it from the backing, line it up, and tack it down. And here is the complete blackout of our Fender Badgeskin. So here we're just going to do a very simple Badgeskin. It's just going to be a Tiguan Badgeskin, and it looks like this. Right now we're going to install a red one. Same process as always. You're going to take your microfiber cloth, you're going to clean off the surface area, use the alcohol wipe, take off any contaminants, and then dry it with the microfiber cloth. Then you can go ahead and do the install of the Tiguan Badgeskin. Very simple. You can do it letter by letter. It comes like this. You just peel off the masking with the Badgeskin, and then you just gotta line it up like so when it's centered, and then you gotta tack it down. Then you just gotta remove the masking at 180 degrees. You just go through the same process for all the individual letters. You just gotta line it up and tack it down like so. So this is one method that you can install the Badgeskin with it on the car with the hatch closed, and you're doing it vertically. But there's another option where you can just pop the hatch so you kind of get a better angle, so you don't really have to be on your knees, but you can stand up. I like this method better, but that's up to you, because now I can kind of just lay the letters on. I find it easier to align them, but process is the same. You center all the individual letters. Tack it down. And it's very simple like this. Once you're done, you can peel off the masking. And there you go, just like that. Okay, so here we'll be doing the black overlay for the rear VW emblem. So first things first, what you're gonna do is you're gonna wash and clean your area. Make sure everything is really dry. You don't want to have any water or any wet spots. You're gonna use alcohol wipe, clean off all the contaminants, and microfiber cloth, dry again. And then your Badgeskin set comes like this. You have a spare circle piece and then the V and the W. It's pretty straightforward to install. The most complicated is actually doing the ring, but very simple. Just take off the V first, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna line up the bottom. It doesn't have to be bang on, it just has to be nice that it's kind of towards the bottom and lined up. So this has a slit in it, so it helps you work the lettering. So I didn't like that. If you don't like the alignment, you kind of just give it a quick tear, but I'm gonna give it just a little space between the bottom and the bottom of the emblem and the V. And just work the Badgeskin on left and right, then peel off at 180 degrees. Then that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna install the W by simply same process, removing the Badgeskin from the backing. And here you're gonna do the opposite, where you're gonna line up this section of the W first. Make sure it's centered, as you can see here. And you can kind of just work one end, the W, and then you can kind of adjust how it lines up here as you install it with the masking. And then you can do the same thing for the other side. Once you get here, run your finger up, you can use the masking to adjust left and right to make sure that your W is centered. And then remove the masking at 180 degrees. Now the last thing to install is the circle or the ring, and this is where you have to pay attention a little bit more. What you're going to do is you're going to take this and start from the bottom, because it allows the Badgeskin to fold back on you and not interfere with your install. So what you're going to do is kind of just line up the inner circle to the inner circle of the badge. So you kind of follow that inner edge. And what you're going to do is you're just going to tack down the inside part. Don't try to tack on the whole thing. So just tack down the inside part and just follow it around. So I'm getting a bit of excess, so obviously my alignment's a little off. I'm just going to peel it off. So I'm going to go back again. I'm just a little bit off of the inside edge. And you know that you started off in a good spot because everything kind of just lays flat on you. Like this, see? And now, once you have everything the way you like it, you can just kind of work it in from the inside out, like so. And this will eliminate any chances of getting a wrinkle. So once that's done, you pull the masking off, and you can just go over your spots that you haven't fully tacked down. And that's it. And that finishes off the install. Okay, for this install we're going to complete the rear badge with the inlay. So essentially you're going to clean the surface area inside here. The best thing that you can do is take a microfiber cloth and your alcohol wipe, and you're going to use a tool. If you have something like this, or you can make it by cutting up a old gift card or whatever, and then you just going to use it with a microfiber cloth and kind of just go in here and really get inside the creases and stuff and get out any dirt that's in there, because it's essential for this install. Once you're done and everything's dried and ready for install, this is your Badgeskin package, and this is your inlay. This is going to be a pure white to match with this Tiguan. So essentially the first thing you do is you got to remove one of the pieces, and this is the best way to do it. You're going to put it onto the back like so, and what you do is you line it up, and with your tool you kind of just squeegee it in like so. Like some of us have sometimes use a ballpoint pen and just kind of roll the edges in here like this, because the masking will actually protect the vinyl. Once everything's done, you can just pull that off 180 degrees like that, and afterwards you just continue on with the other pieces.
Time lapse
for this one, yes. This one here is essentially a repeat of the top portion. Now for the side pieces, you're going to remove it. Line it up.
Drink some bubble tea.
Yeah, but we don't want air walking into the scene.
You wanna tell him?
I'll
When he opens the door, just wave him.
So here we just pull. You have to do the voiceover for that.
That's okay.
So essentially we'll repeat the same thing on this other side. Yeah.
The whole thing's a voiceover anyways.
You'll line it up and then apply the Badgeskin with your little squeegee. And you can get right into the edge there. Like so. And peel this off. And once you're done, you can peel off the masking at 180 degrees. And this completes the look of the rear badge. Okay, so here we'll be installing the Mark II Tiguan taillight eyelid. And then this install, we're doing the gloss black dry install. And essentially it's a pretty large piece, obviously, because we're covering the whole side and the top here of the taillight. And this is what your kit will look like. It's a full-blown kit like this with both left and right side. So for this demonstration here, we're going to do the driver's side or the left side of the car. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to clean your whole taillight surface area. Make sure that it's dry. You're going to take the alcohol swab. You're going to clean off any excess material or anything like that with contaminants, and then wipe it dry with microfiber cloth. Then essentially you can go right to the install. And all you have to do is take your Badgeskin and peel it off with the backing. Everything's all pre-cut for you. And the important part with this install is that you want to line up the Badgeskin to the bottom and the back edging here, like so. So what you want to do is line up this corner. It doesn't need to be over the edge, but it's like literally just before where the fold is. So your line, when you install this, is just before where it starts to fold over. So you're catching all the flat surface area. And this is like a bubble-free air release vinyl, so you could use your fingers to really squeegee this down. And if you have any issues, you can pull back. But if you have a squeegee, it's always good to use that too, so it just makes the install a lot easier. And essentially you're just gonna make sure you keep everything aligned to that back edge as you adhere the vinyl down. So as you can see, you can get all this flat surface area done. Then you could come up here and you're gonna catch the whole top side, but make sure that this edge doesn't fold over. So you're just only catching the very edge of the taillight here, and then you're just gonna adhere it down like so. Once it's all down, like always, you're gonna remove the masking at 180 degrees. And then you're gonna look over your Badgeskin, make sure that all your edges are down. And sealed. And see here, you got a little bit of a ripple, so we're just gonna tack it down like that. And make sure that we get that corner nice and adhered and tucked in and sealed. And this is a large portion of the tail light. Now we're going to move on to just the trunk section. Same thing, you're going to take your Badgeskin, you're just going to remove it. Everything's already pre-tabbed for you. So the important part here is that you gotta install and line it up to the back part here, making sure that you're not going over the edge, but you're pretty well lined up. And you're gonna follow your outer edge here and then work everything in like that. If you have your squeegee, you can use it now just to make sure that you got all the surface area tucked in. And then after you have it adhered, you can pull off the masking at 180 degrees. And then just double check your Badgeskin after install. Make sure all your edges are sealed. And now this is the finished look. Okay, to finish off this front end blackout kit on the MK2 Tiguan, we're going to install the Badgeskin for the front smooth emblem here. And essentially the Badgeskin kit comes in 3 pieces. You have your backing, the outer ring, and the silhouette. What I'm going to do is explain to you real quick why you see painter's tape or masking tape here. When you go to install this, what's going to happen is that you want to be able to line up this VW silhouette the best you can to be centered. So what I did here, you don't have to do it, but it would make things a lot easier, is that you would go and make your crosshairs with the painter's tape, and this would be your center lines. And what I did is I measured from the edge of the VW emblem and made a ticking mark at 7 millimeters on each position here on the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position. So when I go to install it, it gives me an idea of how centered I am. So as you can see, like this here, top and bottom. But we'll get to that once I get to the installation here. So to start things off, obviously you're gonna wash and clean the emblem. Take the alcohol wipe, make sure that everything is cleaned off, no wax. If you have ceramic coating, it may be a bit of a adhesion issue, but you should be able to take care of it with some heat. So once you've done all the cleaning and everything, make sure it's nice and dry, and we're gonna start off with the installation of the backing. And essentially you're just gonna peel the Badgeskin off of the backing, and you're gonna kind of do your best to center this. There's a couple ways you can do it. I kind of like doing this way, so I kind of have a left and right, and I kind of just tack the top a little bit to see how much it folds over. If you take a look, you want at least a millimeter of to a millimeter and a half of fold over. So I kind of just play around with this a little bit. Once I get a fold over like this much, I'm pretty happy with it. And what you do is that you keep this reference point and you kind of just go over to the 3 and 4 o'clock position and make sure that you're kind of getting even fold over points too. And if you don't like it, like I said, you can just peel it off. So I think I like the position that it's in right now, just based on how everything is. So now that I kind of have it in the position I want, it's tacked down in the middle, I'm just going to kind of work my way out towards the perimeter of the Badgeskin, like so. And also, as with any vinyl, it's always best to work with it at least in room temperature, 20 degrees Celsius. But maybe you can get down to about 15. But anything lower than that, it becomes really difficult to work with, and it's easier to tear the vinyl. So you just kind of keep working the vinyl all the way around, trying to get rid of a lot of these, you call them fingers, these little ripples, and you just slowly work at them to a point where you feel it's comfortable enough that you can remove the masking. If you ever have any issues, just kind of pull it back up. Okay, so here I'm pretty comfortable. I'm going to start removing the masking at 180 degrees, nice and slow, because it is pretty tacky. So here, with the masking off, there's less restrictions. A little fuzz there. And now you can just work that vinyl down. If you have a squeegee with a felt end on it, you can use it also, but I'm just showing you how to install this without a squeegee on you right now. So once you get to this point where it reaches the full perimeter, it's a good idea to get a heat gun to apply some heat so that you can get a nice even wrap without any wrinkles. So here I'll show you real quick. You take a heat gun, give it a little bit of heat, and you can see how nicely the vinyl rolls over the edge here, like that. And you just continue doing this all the way around. There you go, the backing is on. This is probably going to be the hardest step out of the three. But essentially, once this is on, it's a good idea to take an alcohol wipe and kind of clean off the inner edge here. Just because if you did use your finger like I did, you're putting oils on it. So it's going to cause less of a adhesion for the outer ring. So once you've got the backing on, you've cleaned the edge, you're going to go ahead and install the outer ring. And this is just a little indication that this is dead center, so it just gives you a quick reference. What's going to happen is that you're going to take the backing off, and your outer ring and the masking would be trimmed nice and tight along the outer edge here. So what you'll do is you'll take your reference point so you can see it, and you just kind of put it right to the very top like that, and making sure that you kind of get it right to the edge so you don't see any chrome. And what you'll do is you're just gonna give a bit of tension and kind of just walk the vinyl and adhere it down to the outer edge of the emblem. As you get towards this bottom section here, you can just create a bit of tension by grabbing the masking. And as you can see, you can kind of tuck that inner edge in. and then adhere it down. That's pretty important to do because you don't want it to poke out. You want to really tuck that back edge into that groove in the emblem. Once you've adhered it down, you can remove this portion up to the 12 o'clock position, and now you can work on putting down the second side, the same process. As again, once you get down to about this position here, you grab the masking that is provided and you kind of lead the back edge into that groove at the into the emblem, like so, and then you gotta tack down the vinyl. Make sure you work it down, giving it a bit of pressure, and then now you can just remove the masking, and that is pretty well the second stage complete. Okay, so here we're going to prep the third layer, or the third piece of the front smooth emblem Badgeskin, which is the silhouette. And essentially what we're doing here is we're just putting crosshairs on this so that it helps you align it and center it onto the front smooth emblem. So what you're going to need is a pen or a Sharpie, a razor blade, a ruler, and some masking tape. So the first thing you got to do is that you're going to make a piece of masking tape, and you're literally going to do the vertical line first. So what you want to do is you want to actually center, use this edge as your center line, and it comes onto this side like so. And I'm just going to use my points here as my guide to what the center is, and then I'm going to put it down. Now I'll do my second part of the crosshair, where I'm going to come down and over the vertical part, and I'm going to center it along this portion. Like so. If it doesn't look centered, I'm going to pull it back up and make sure that it is centered how I like it. So now this top edge is going to be my line. So the next step is that you're going to make some marks on this so it gives you a guide. With the Tiguan one here, I'm doing about 7 millimeters from the edge of the vinyl to the tape line. So here I'll do just about 7. Same here, I'll make my marks. And this will give you a good reference of centering the silhouette onto your emblem. So after you've done that, on this side, what you're going to do is you're going to lift this up, and you're actually going to peel the Badgeskin back a bit off the backing. You're going to take your knife, you're going to make a nice straight slit, and then fold it back over. And now when this is done, you're prepared to install this. Okay, so once you prepped your silhouette piece, you're ready to install it onto the smooth emblem, and it'll be the final install to make this a complete Badgeskin set for you. So what we're going to do is that you're going to take the crosshairs and you're going to start kind of lining them up so that you have equal distance between your marking to the emblem edge, so that it gives you a good reference of whether you're in the middle or not. And as you can see, I haven't tacked it down, but I'm going left and right, and I'm making sure that I'm centered horizontally, and then I'm also moving it up and down once I feel like I'm centered left and right. And then what I'll do is I'll tack down where I think I'm centered and kind of come press this down and kind of compare top and bottom, and I feel like I need to move up. So I'm just gonna untack this here, move it up a little bit, and just repeat this process until I'm comfortable or confident that I'm as centered as I can possibly be. And it's like very slight adjustments as you do this. So once you feel you're comfortable, you want to make sure that your emblem is level based on your crosshair and also the VW emblem line. And then I'm just going to tack down my anchor point. So here, once you've centered and you feel that this is where you want to be, your vertical tape is the one that you want to use to anchor down your emblem. And then now you can fully remove the horizontal one, and this is why we install the vertical one first. Now with that out of the way, if you have a squeegee, I would suggest that you use it. If not, use a gift card stacked together just to give it some rigidity, or you can just buy one off Amazon. It's like a couple dollars. At this point, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna hinge this backing off, up and off, and then now you're gonna give it a little bit of tension during your install. And we want to start from the bottom here to get this full bar section. So we're gonna give it a bit of tension, and you're gonna move towards the edge like so, and keep everything going towards this top corner, like towards like 1, 2 o'clock, and just kind of keep working it nice and slow and smooth. As you can see, I got a wrinkle here. It's not a big deal. I'm just gonna finish installing this portion. I'm glad this kind of came up, because now I can show you how to fix something like this. If you get a small wrinkle like this, just peel the backing off. And what you can do is just take that vinyl and just grab it and just give it a little stretch to get that wrinkle out. And now I can fully install that. As you can see, now it's gone. So at this point, I'm just gonna fold this back over. I'm not peeling the masking all the way off because I needed to secure this when I lift off our masking hinge point. So with that off, now I'm going to complete the other side. So I'm going to hinge it. I'm going to remove the backing, and same ordeal. I'm going to give it a bit of tension and work my bottom, like this section here, across. And now I'm going to grab this corner and give it a bit of tension going upwards. And I'm going to slowly squeegee everything towards this corner, nice and even, like so. Once that's all done, you can remove the masking nice and slow at 180 degrees. Like that. And then now you just want to double check all your points and edges that it's flattened and adhered down. Once this is all done, what you can do is heat gun the outer edge. And then just make sure that your vinyl edges are sealed and adhered down, to make sure that it's a nice install. And that's it. This is how you would install this 3-piece kit. And there you go. Enjoy. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed, and we didn't bore you too much with our install videos, but this is what you would end up looking like. Thanks for watching.